Lots of sitcom royalty in and out of this show, which I love. They're no
Oh
stranger
yeah,
to the, hey, let's bring in the 70s icon to play themselves.
yeah. Well, and also like 70s icons to play characters too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Such as Leo,
Yes, Tommy Chong.
Tommy
Sir Thomas
Chong.
Chong, knighted in my eyes. Why didn't they ever knight them boys? What the fuck?
I wonder what's on the tube.
Welcome back.
Thank you for being a friend.
What you talking about, Willis?
You are a meathead.
Nothing for you.
Don't touch that channel. Adjust those bunny ears because what time is it, Jay?
Hello, Wisconsin! It's time for Sitcom My Face. And what show are we talking about this episode, sir?
Well, speaking of Wisconsin, we are talking about That 70s Show. Not to be
Never heard
confused
of
with
it.
That 80s Show. That was a different one, and that was not good.
We shall discuss, I'm sure, at some point, that 80s show. Maybe later in this episode, and maybe if we can really twist that dagger into Nick's ribs, maybe down the road we can get another episode out of that bitch. But first, I got to apologize on behalf of...
Oh yeah. Weren't we supposed to have another guest, Jay?
Yes, I think I actually mentioned my coworker buddy Kent. He was supposed to be here to discuss this show because he absolutely loves this show, but he had to have Red's foot surgically removed from his ass. No, I'm just kidding. He has fallen ill. I don't know, smallpox, herpes, something.
Foot and ass, yes.
Yes, foot and assitis, whatever the hell.
Yes, one of the ongoing great, like lines of of this show.
Yeah, I usually will do a little small talk up front, but I have 3 pages of fucking notes to cover for this show, so maybe we should just hop into that 70s show. 200 episodes aired on the Fox network.
Yeah, it was actually the second longest running Fox sitcom behind.
Well, I guess you're not counting The Simpsons as a sitcom then.
Yeah, that's
Married with Children?
Yeah, Married with Children.
Got 11 seasons. Yeah, this aired from 98 to 2006. I'm sorry. This aired from 1976 to 1980.
Correct. Or it's like, yeah, 1976 to December 31st, 1979, and how many seconds?
Yeah. So I want to know your familiarity with the show. Did you watch it when it aired? Is this something you found later?
I did watch, but I was not an avid watcher. I didn't watch all the time. It's just like I caught it here and there, and then of course in reruns too.
When you don't feel like getting out your old recorded beta tape of Playboy After Dark, you watch this.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is a show. This is a kind of a show. Yeah, Betamax kids, go look it up. This is a show I felt like I discovered for everyone that I knew. I remember seeing the pilot the first night it aired and going, this is kind of something cool and different. And I remember telling my friends about it. I got my mom into the show because my mom wasn't really at this time like a TV watcher, and it was one of those weird ones where it was just the adolescence. The age I was at, it was kind of the perfect time for me to experience a show like this.
Yeah, by the time the show was over, yeah, you were in your high school days.
1 year out of high school when it ended.
Okay.
So it was there for me throughout all those formative years.
Yes.
Years. But yeah, were you around 70s to?
Well, I was not in high school in the 70s. Right. I was in grammar school in the 70s.
Okay. So authenticity. What do you think?
Oh, no, definitely some authentic, number one, if you want to say the soundtrack to the show, definitely that was the music.
Now, interestingly and sadly, the original broadcast versions of this show had real licensed music. like actual songs, a bunch of songs from the 70s. Sadly, all of the reruns and the DVDs and all the Blu-rays, they've all changed out all those, the little dancing they do in between the commercial breaks and all that. They've changed all that music.
Well, I think some of them, I guess they were able to get the rights to, but a good portion, no.
I believe the commentary says that the only ones they really paid up for are the ones that play into the story or the moment.
Right.
Like
if
they reference ABBA in that scene and then they close it with an ABBA song, they paid for that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if it wasn't relevant, then
like the second episode, they go to a Todd Rundgren show, and then on the way back, they're all singing, hello, it's me. It's like, oh, okay, along with the radio. So it was a big tie-in to that episode. So
I noticed it with Kiss a lot too. There's a lot of Kiss references, and then they'll end it with a Kiss song. But I mean, again, I think some of them are probably a lot easier to license than others, and a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and I'm surprised on the Kiss ones because I know Gene likes his money there.
Did they might have guest starred at some point? I can't remember. I didn't rewatch them all this time, but I've seen it before. They might have been on there at one point.
But actually, getting into the music part of it though, what do you think of the theme song?
Oh, the theme song is absolutely one of my favorites.
Agreed.
And it feels so authentic, right?
Yeah. And the crazy part, it's from Cheap Trick.
Eventually. Not originally.
Well, yeah, actually, yeah. Season 1, it was Todd Griffin, and then Cheap Trick from season 2 through 8.
Written by Alex Chifton and Chris Bell, apparently of a 70s band, which I'm not familiar with, called Big Star.
Yeah.
And it's called In the Streets.
Correct. But the seasons 2 through 8, especially when the song starts ending in "We're all right, we're all right," it just reminds me of Cheap Trick anyway, because one of their more famous songs, ends that way. We're all right.
And them driving in the car and the people in the car switching out, they're all rocking out. It just feels so authentic and fits this show really well. In the last season, I know they lost, which we'll talk about. They lost a few cast members and switched up some stuff. Some people who were side characters became main characters. New guys came in. So they changed up in what they call the circle, which whenever they're sitting downstairs smoking pot, they have the camera spin they do. And they did that for the opening theme for that final season.
True. And that's one of the key, if you want to say, ingredients of the show was the circle and the things they talk about. Especially Hyde would talk about a lot about, okay, a car, but it runs on water. It's fiberglass.
Well, why don't we talk about the basic setup of the show?
Okay.
So you have the Foreman family, Red and Kitty. Kind of your typical 70s Nixon fan. Real kind of hard-ass type. He fought in the war. He's got this young son who is, kind of rebelling against that a little bit. He's a little softer. Well, a lot softer.
Definitely. Yeah.
You have the slutty daughter. Of course, you have to have the stereotypical slutty daughter in Lori.
Correct.
And then you have the main focus of the show, besides Eric and his family, are his group of friends that hang out in the basement.
Correct. Including his next door neighbor, Donna.
Yeah, Laura Prepon, who younger people might know from Orange is the New Black, probably.
Correct.
Orange is the old hair color.
Orange is the old hair
Blonde
color.
is the new hair color.
Well, I don't know. The latest picture I've seen of her, it's actually black. Is the new black, I guess.
Was she a brunette in Orange is the New Black? I never watched that show, so I'm not sure. She went blonde at the end of this show. She might have been.
You know what? I only watched a couple of episodes of Orange is the New Black. I don't know. I didn't get into it. I'll probably give it a rewatch at some point, but.
So among Eric's friends, you have Kelso, who's Ashton Kutcher, the moron.
Yep. Very much the moron.
You have Jackie, who's Mila Kunis, who ironically eventually married Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah. And now going into Mila Kunis, as far as she was only 14 when she got the role.
She auditioned for this fucking movie and lied about her age to get in this show.
Again, we're going back to what's your F troop here?
Yes. Yeah, they said they had a rule where they wanted all the act because of working hours, of course, and you have to if you have kids on set, you have to have classes and all that, and it cuts into your work schedule. Well, she lied and said, "Oh yeah." She goes, "I'm gonna be 18 by the time the show," or she said, "I'll be 18 eventually."
Yeah, I'll be 18 eventually for the show.
Right, and
so
she didn't say it was
they're
4
thinking
years.
of, oh, well, she's about to turn 18. It's like,
right.
no, it's like, well, that was on her radar a few years down the line.
Which makes it real awkward when you think about she was 14 and Ashton was 19, and they're got some pretty hot and heavy makeout scenes and all this stuff in there. Yeah, dude, it's awkward, but
yeah, and it always like puzzled me because looking at her, like just watching all the characters in like that first season, it's like, wow, she looks so much younger than the other ones.
Like, yeah, going back, you can really tell, right? When you go back to the beginning, you go, yeah, I see it now.
But her attitude was the right attitude.
Yeah, she's like, the more uptight, rich girl.
Uptight, all about herself, and talks a mile a minute.
You have Hyde,
which she had
by Danny Masterson.
Yes,
he's the
Danny Masterson.
How would you describe him best? Like all about the conspiracies, anti-government kind of.
Oh, definitely. he was like he was also like the toughest of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
he's kind of the one from the streets, I guess you'd say.
Yes. Yeah, because when they showed the episode where they're all recounting how they first met, each one of them, and Hyde, what's his name? Eric actually paid him off to protect him on the way home because he was being bullied. And when they showed up at the house, it's like Hyde was so dirty that they had him take a bath with Eric.
Do you remember? Well, the whole thing with his parents is his parents weren't there. His mom was kind of whatever. She was always working, didn't really pay attention. Do you remember who his parents were? He had a few different dads because I think there was a few guys you thought were his dad and then they disappeared, and then at the end they give you the real dad. But do you know who they were? They're actually both sitcom stars.
Early on, I think one of the proposed dads was Gary Cole, I believe, of Office Space. I think that was one. That was one of them.
I think you're right. I think
he also does voices on Family Guy and such, and he was also in I think the Brady movies, the Brady Bunch movies.
Yep. You know who played his mom?
I'm trying to remember now.
We've talked about her many a times, sitcom royalty, and you mentioned her show earlier. The other Fox show that went this much longer.
Oh, Married with Children. What was it? Katie Sagal?
Katie Sagal played Hyde's mom.
Okay.
In only 1 or 2 episodes early on, I think. And then, of course, we got a few of Hyde's dads, but I think the one that you find out is the real dad was actually
Tim Reed.
Tim Reed, yes.
from Venus Flytrap from WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Which is what's funny because I told you I watched that Turkey Drop episode and I was like, I didn't even know he was on this show. But the funny thing was, I know him best from this show and from Sister Sister. He was the dad on that show.
Oh, right.
With
I
Tia
knew him.
and Tamara Mowry, which I watched when I was young.
Yeah, and for me, my best recollection of him is as Venus Flytrap from WKRP.
Lots of sitcom royalty in and out of this show, which I love. They're no stranger to the, hey, let's bring in the 70s icon to play themselves.
Yeah. Well, and also 70s icons to play characters too.
Yeah, that's true.
Such as Leo.
Yes, Tommy Chong.
Sir
Thomas Chong, knighted in my eyes. Why didn't they ever knight them boys? What the fuck? Who missed out, unfortunately, on seasons 5 and 6 because he was in prison.
Yeah. Yeah, in fact, in season 5, I think they were trying to find him. That was one of the storylines.
What else did we Did we miss any other cast members? Oh, Fez. We didn't mention Fez.
Fez, which stands for
foreign exchange student, because they never knew. The running joke is, where the hell are you from, Fez?
Yep.
Which I love.
Well, not just where are you from, but like his name. The first time he says his name, the school bell basically goes off at that point. And it's like,
we're going to call you Fez.
Basically.
Foreign exchange. It's like Elf. Remember what Elf stood for on the Alien puppet show?
Alien life form.
Alien life form. Same concept.
Yep.
Now, this show was created by the Turners. You know, the other show that these people, the same creators, all created and produced the other show that we love, but we have not gotten to yet.
Which is one of, I think, one of my higher sitcoms too, Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes, it's created by Mark. Do you say Brazil or Brazel? Bonnie Turner and Terry Turner.
He's got an extra L.
Yeah, they were all producers on Third Rock from the Sun, which we will get to. We both love that show as well.
Yeah,
with John Lithgow and
Terry
Jane
Turner.
Yeah.
And then Mark Brazil or Brazel.
Now, this is also a weird one when it comes to director, because I don't think we've covered any shows that have had this yet. But are you familiar with David Traynor, the director for this show?
I know the name, and I didn't look back at what he was more.
Do you know what's
for.
bizarre about him and his relation to this show? He directed.
I'm trying to.
How many episodes we got, Nick? 200.
200.
He directed 199 of them.
Except the pilot. That never fucking happens on sitcoms. I'll tell you what.
You get a new director almost every fucking week sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, we've covered a few, like, some shows they'll have, like, someone who did, like, 120 of, was it King of Queens had, like, the same guy did, like, 120 of 180 or something?
Yeah, he was, if you want to say, the bulk director.
Right, or you'll have 70 of 150 or something, but to do 109, he took ownership of this show, basically.
True, and as we were talking actually before we went live, the pilot of that 70 show, I found it like it didn't really gain its footing. It was, it was introducing the characters again, the possible romance between Eric and Donna. It was, doing that, but it didn't really seem to, like, it wasn't one of my favorite pilots. But
I think it did a good job of laying the footwork for what was to come, though.
Yeah. But by episode 2, the first one, directed by David Traynor, it hit its stride.
Now, ironically, he must have been real close with these kids, because he actually went on to also direct every single episode of The Ranch, which starred Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson. He had episodes of Sybil. He did 23 episodes of Sybil. He did 12 episodes of the John Larroquette Show. He did 45 episodes of Boy Meets World.
Oh, wow.
63 episodes of Designing Women.
Really?
And also did the pilot for That 80s Show.
Oh.
Only the pilot, though. Probably a favorite. He was called in to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if he'll be back for that 90s show. I kind of hope so, because if he's the one who has... If you do that many episodes of the show, he did more than most of the actors.
True. Yeah,
there's actors that weren't in every episode of this show.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, some of them were, if you want to say missing for points in time and due to contractual obligations and such.
I just thought that was cool, and I remember learning that the DVDs had the audio commentaries on several episodes here and there. And I'm huge into audio commentaries, especially if it's for something I really enjoy learning about behind the scenes. And I remember going, wow, it's so unusual for one of these DVD commentaries to have the same guy direct all of these episodes,
Damn.
It rarely happens. So hopefully they do bring it back for that 90s show.
I definitely hope so. But again, you and I have seen the little tiny trailer there for that 90s show, and well,
I'm not hopeful.
Hopefully it's better than that.
Yeah, we're gonna give it a little time after it releases, and we'll take in as many as we can and discuss it. I'm hoping. My fingers crossed.
Yeah, along with also the what did Melissa Roach call it? The new boot of Night Court.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking about these coming up soon.
Night Court is currently #1 on my list that we're doing here. We at the end of every episode we are ranking our favorites, and Night Court is up there. So for that to be coming back, God, I hope it's good.
Same here.
I don't know, man. I'm scared. I need my bowl and my Roz back, but the writers I looked up on this show, the staff writers, they really don't have that many other credits, which kind of surprised me. The only one I saw of, like, they have one or two other shows. There was some show called Lab Rats that a bunch of the writers for this went on to, but it looks like a kid's show
Lab
or
Rats.
something?
I think was a Disney. I think
it's a Disney
that was
show,
Disney or Nickelodeon. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like a younger show.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of strange that these people wouldn't have gone on to a lot. I did see a thing though. Will Forte was a writer on this for a handful of episodes, and apparently
that's funny.
Turned down SNL originally to keep writing on this show.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. He was like, go ahead.
I was going to say the Turners actually, they were actually staff writers for SNL as well.
Yep.
And one of their, I guess, friends / colleagues was Jan Hooks, who went on to SNL.
And she was the one.
I think.
Well, she was on Third Rock too, right? Third Rock from the Sun.
Jan Hooks, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, and his last stuffs.
Yeah, but I was going to say though, I think, it's like after Jan Hooks got the spot, it kind of helped Terry and Bonnie actually get in with Lorne Michaels there.
Will said he turned it down the first time. He said, if I stay here, I have a job. My dream is to be on SNL, but if I go do it and I fail, the dream is dead. But if I turn it down, the dream is still out there. And he said, thank God they came back a second time and asked again. And he goes, I couldn't turn it down a second time. So.
But, you know what? We're missing one other of the circle. The later part of the circle.
No, we're not missing anybody.
Randy.
No, we'll get to him. We'll get to him later. We'll discuss that motherfucker later. Okay.
Exactly. Okay. there we go. That's right.
Randy, sit your ass down and wait your turn. Sit there with Charlie, you motherfucker. All right. We'll get to you. So now, we got Bob and Midge as well, which I loved as the Donna's parents were the neighbors. Yes. Bob, I thought was a great character. Midge, she kind of left for a while. That was Tanya Roberts, who we sadly lost in 2021. Mm-hmm. She's gone. The actress who played Lori, the sister of Eric, she's also passed. She died of
she was only 43 when she passed.
Yeah. If you do watch this show, you'll notice that Lori kind of comes and goes as it goes on.
Yes.
And that was because she had a pretty bad drug addiction. And I mean, it was kind of them to go, you go do you. And when you're ready, you come back. And they did that a few times. Sadly, they gave her biggest storyline ever when she married Fez to keep him in the country.
Right. Yeah. They first make out in the or actually have sex in the van and then come back married.
They end the season with a cliffhanger where the whole next season was supposed to be this storyline unfolding. And unfortunately, she relapsed. So they had to recast her with a different actress and basically just kind of rushed that storyline along because they wanted to, we have a new actress. We don't want to waste all this time. Blah, 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 get rid of it. Boom. Yeah. And I don't think she ever came back to that role after that. I think it was that girl for a few, and then Lori was just kind of gone.
Yeah. And in fact,
they do mention her in the finale, I think, but
in the it's like, didn't we have a daughter? Like,
speaking of which, we talked about on the King of Queens episode how shitty it is to be a sister on that show because they both had sisters that disappeared. Donna also had a sister on this show in the first season.
Oh wow,
that just goes away. She was there for 2 or 3 episodes, and then you never ever hear about. Man, yeah, she's just gone.
What was the model of Eric's car?
The Vista Cruiser.
Yep, the Vista Cruiser.
Yeah. Kind of a main character on the show. It's in the theme song. It's all over. It's there throughout the entire run.
Yep, and in fact, apparently, it's going to make at least an appearance or so in that '90s show.
He probably gives it to their daughter. I saw the new girl's name, which it fits in with Eric's character. You remember their new daughter's name?
I don't remember.
He's obsessed with Star Wars. Their daughter's name is Leia.
Leia, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Leia. I was like, oh, that's fun. I think in the preview they're sitting on top of the hood of that car, aren't they? Yeah. Eric and Donna.
Like Eric and Donna, the old days. It was actually that the Vista Cruiser. There was a ranking on. I'm trying to remember where it was. It was like the third most. Oh, here it is.
Like iconic TV car.
1969. Yeah, like basically like the number 3, like TV car.
Number 3, really?
Yeah.
The General Lee, the Batmobile, all that shit.
I know.
I don't know about number 3, but I think it's very integral to this show.
True, and that's the thing where it's like so much happens because of or around or in the cruiser. So, do you know where the Vista is now?
It better be in the Smithsonian.
No.
What?
Wilder Valderrama actually bought it.
Oh wow!
For $500.
Wow, that's a good deal, I guess.
Yeah.
You think it actually ran? Or they just tow that bitch? When you're shooting, they usually just tow it, so it didn't have to run.
True. But, yeah, okay, here it was. August 2009, the show's Vista Cruiser was named the 3rd greatest television car ever by MSN Autos. So it's like, okay. Like you said, the Batmobile, it's like the Green Hornet's car, the Black Beauty. It's like, okay, there's a lot of really cool
Knight
cars
Rider
in television. Kit.
It's like, come on now.
Hell, even Jim Rockford's car.
We talked about the Munsters car.
The Munsters car, Starsky and Hutch. It's like there are a lot of like big cars, like in the series, especially I think in the '70s too. But,
so, do you have any favorite episodes of this show that you watched?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what my favorite ones like.
I'm gonna guess none of them were in season 8, but
no, except the only good thing in season 8 was the finale. The finale was good, but it was also a lot of like, it was kind of not clip show total, but showing us back,
I watched there's a YouTube, series. I think I mentioned it on when I spoke of the WKRP episode, the turkey drop. There's a channel where they pick one episode of a show and kind of say why it's the best or why it saved the show. And theirs was very clickbaity and labeled the episode that saved that '70s show. And that was the finale.
Oh my God, really?
And I was like, I guess, but I mean, it's a decent finale. I don't think it's an amazing finale.
No, that's the thing. It's like, it was nice, a little heartwarming as far as like, oh, okay, we get a return of Eric when it looked like he wasn't going to come back. And also, what are you like? Fez and Jackie actually, finally hook up. And they're just
Jackie really ran the gamut on the show. Of the three, of Fez, Hyde, or Kelso, who do you think was the best match for Jackie?
Truthfully, I think, as strange as it sounds, Kelso. Where does it sound? It's like, even though Hyde was the more deep, as she said, I don't know, just the relationship didn't really, I don't know, it didn't seem to work for me.
Yeah. And it came in like season 4 or 5, so we'd already seen her with Kelso for so long.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is neither her nor Kelso were mature in any fashion at all, so it was like
exactly. That's why
you deserve each other, and you're fucking getting cheated on all the
Right.
time, and yeah. But when she ended up with Fez, you go, what the fuck? Like now they're just reaching. It's like when they hooked up
Yeah.
Rachel and Joey in the last season of Friends or whatever, and you're like, no.
No.
Now you're just fucking, you're desperate for stories here.
Exactly.
It's one thing if two characters just fuck, and you have a drunken night, you fuck, you hook up. Okay, you move on. You don't fucking make a whole relationship arc out of this shit. Like, they were a couple, right, at the end of the show?
Oh, yeah, Fez and Jackie.
Yeah. But in the new one, I wonder.
It looks like she may have gone back to Kelso.
Because I looked in the credits, because I like to see. I was trying to see if any of the kids in that 90s show were. Because remember, Kelso had a baby with Shannon Elizabeth in one season.
I was going to say, that was a good episode, too. That, like, the first one that she shows up on where it's like, no, really? I made out with her at the. What was it? Was it the Mott the Hoople show? Or I'm trying to remember which show. It's like, no, really. It's like,
well, I kind of wondered if any of these kids on the new show are going to be, besides Eric and Donna's kids, if it was going to be any of their kids. But they were smart.
True.
On the IMDb page, they only put the kids' first names. Not the last.
Okay.
But Jackie is still labeled as Jackie Burkhart. So you would assume she's not married in the new show, but.
True.
That could also be a little
she may not have
hiding the fact that they're married. So you got to think about these things. Some people don't really think about that. Some casting people do. Some whoever the fuck making their their IMDb pages.
Now, did you know who? Okay, when going to Red, Eric's father. Do you know who the producers actually wanted for the role?
I do. Chuck Norris.
Chuck Norris.
Now, thank God that he was unavailable because he was still doing Walker Texas Ranger
at the time.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
Yeah,
would have been a very different character.
The funny thing, Red, again, performed by Kurtwood Smith. Kurtwood Smith was the only person actually from Wisconsin on the show.
Is Chuck Norris is ginger, right? So I wonder if they called him Red because they wanted him to be a ginger.
That's possible.
That'd be interesting. I mean, I played a Red, so it's not necessarily related to that.
No.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, what were some of your favorite cameos by other stars there?
There's a lot of good ones in this show. Like I said, a lot of the 70s actors come back. I wrote down a list of all the people that just kind of popped up and shit that I was watching. And we got a lot of the Mary Tyler Moore cast in here, which we covered that show, and we love that show.
Correct.
Gavin McLeod was in here. Betty White, Mary Tyler Moore herself was in here. We had Tom Poston, who we discussed in the Newhart.
Oh, right.
Bob Newhart
show.
James Avery popped up for several episodes. He was Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince. Who did I tell you before that I didn't know it until I was much older, but did you know that he was the voice actor for Shredder on the Ninja Turtles?
You had actually mentioned that.
Yeah. I was it's Uncle Phil. And then once you hear it, you can never unhear it. Howard Hessman actually popped up in here, who we talked about a lot when we did his memorial episode of Head of the Class.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of unique being you have both Howard Hessman and Tim Reed.
Tim Reed, yep. Allison Hannigan popped up in here, which I never seen her show, but of course, best known for How I Met Your Mother, probably now.
Correct.
Best known for me from American Pie.
And also, for if you still want to see her, she's the host for Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Oh yeah, I've seen a few clips of that. Yeah.
Yeah, the magic show.
Danny Bonaducci, like I said, was on the episode where he worked at the burger joint. Yeah, there's a lot of great. We talked about we did Kids in the Hall. Pastor Dave. What the fuck's that actor's name? which I did watch the first couple episodes of The New Kids in the Hall after we discussed it again, and
oh yeah,
I could have gone without seeing Pastor Dave's dick. I tell you that.
Yes. Yeah, that part of things. Yeah.
Why am I looking at Dave Foley and this guy's dick? The show had a lot of great side characters that would reoccur. Like I thought Rhonda was funnier and shit. Big Rhonda.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Pastor Dave, Leo, we'd mentioned. Caroline, the crazy girlfriend of Fez, there for a while.
Oh right, yeah.
Mitch was Seth Green, who was kind of like wanted to be in the group, but they never would accept him. Kind of.
Mm.
Yeah, a lot of great side characters in here.
Oh, you know it was another. Speaking of Canadian, one of the
you didn't say it right. Canadian, eh?
Eh. the one where they go to Canada. That was a great one. Eh?
I'm trying to remember who was at the border.
It was one of the Mounties, like at the border.
Right. Yep.
Dave Thomas of SCTV fame.
Thomas.
Bob and Doug McKenzie, the McKenzie brothers.
Which, when I was a kid, I think he was one of the main actors on Grace Under Fire, right? Yeah.
I think he was, yes.
That's how I knew him, because my grandma loved that show when it was on, Grace Under Fire. Which I'm sure we'll get to eventually.
What was it? Brett Butler was the lead on that one. Yeah, that was actually a good show. Like, it was just kind of like all of a sudden, it wasn't there. It's like, oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah,
that one popped up somewhere too. It's streaming again somewhere. Because I was like, oh, I forgot about that show.
Yeah, that's what we should definitely take on again. But like, but going to your favorite episodes, I'm curious because, again, I liked a lot of different episodes. I don't know if I necessarily have one favorite.
Yeah,
one.
I don't know if I have a favorite either.
Yeah,
a lot of them are just so good. And this is a show where it's not always about what's happening in the show. It's a character relation show, which are some of my favorites.
Definitely.
It's all about the interplay with the characters, the jokes, the sitting in the circle getting high, and the burn.
Oh yeah, and in fact, I love the one with Kelso when finally Shannon Elizabeth. I forget what, I think her name was Brooke or something or other. When she finally admits that yes, she actually hooked up with Kelso because now she's pregnant. He goes to everyone in the circle, burn, and then he runs outside, comes back in the house to pass Red and Kitty. Yeah, burn, and then comes back to the circle.
I think one episode that stood out to me that I remember being really funny, but I didn't revisit this time, was the one with Brittany Daniels plays Eric's cousin, who's like a smoking hot blonde.
Oh yes, that was a good one.
Where she was trying to. Yeah. Well, she was basically tells him that she was adopted, and that we're not really blood, and then kind of goes on to seduce him almost.
Yeah.
And at the moment when he's finally like, "Am I gonna fuck my cousin?" Red kind of comes in and she's like, "Oh my God, you're trying to touch me, Uncle Red!" Like,
yeah, and the whole reason was when they were much younger.
Yeah.
Eric and his friends used to basically torment her. Like they trapped her in a revolving door, and where she threw up and she had to keep going through her own vomit.
I remember that being a really funny episode. I actually like that actress a lot. She's in like Club Dreads, one of my favorite movies, which is from the Broken Lizard guys who did like Super Broken Troopers Lizard. And stuff. Do you know what show she went on to star in after this show?
No.
She starred in a sitcom that you love. It's called That 80s Show.
Oh, no!
She was one of the leads on That 80s Show. She actually has a twin sister that used to act with her, but I don't think her sister enjoyed acting much, so she kind of
got it.
So a lot of her early stuff is her and her twin sister because they were hot twins, and then it became her more of, being a legit actress, which is cool. And she's very funny. Very funny in this, very funny in Club Dread. Actually, she's probably one of the best parts of That 80s Show, along with the father from Unhappily Ever After was on there. That actor I like a lot.
Yeah.
The one who talks to the bunny.
Yeah.
and the girl who starred in Not Another Teen Movie, and which I've totally forgot until recently that he was the main character on that 80s show, was Dennis from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
He's the main actor on that fucking show.
Damn.
It's got some talent on there. It just didn't do well.
Well, one thing I read what they wanted to do as far as the original title. You know what the original titles of this were going to be?
Yeah, they were all Who related, like Teenage Wasteland and The Kids Are All Right.
Kids Are All Right. And basically, they couldn't get the rights to like those Who songs, and it's like
it sounded like they wanted the title to be the theme song, and maybe they wanted the Who for the theme song.
Right. So they couldn't get those. So again, became that 70s show. But you saw what they started doing. Like I think it was starting in season 5, right? Yeah, I think it was 5. Yeah, they couldn't name it Teenage Wasteland, the show. They couldn't name it The Kids Are All Right. But starting in season 5,
name the episodes
they started naming the episodes after the one season was Who songs, another season was Zeppelin songs, another season was Stone songs, and the last season, except the finale, were Queen songs.
Let me see if they're listed on here. I don't know if they have the episode names on here or not.
Okay.
Let's see. This is season. You said it started in season 5?
I believe it was season 5 when it started, because the 4 I remember are the Who, Zeppelin,
Going to California, I Can't Quit You, Baby.
Zeppelin. That's Zeppelin.
What Is and What Should Never Be, Heartbreaker, Ramble On. Those are all season 5 episodes. Season 6,
that's the Zeppelin ones.
Season 6 are The Kids Are All Right, Join Together, Magic Bus, The Acid Queen, I'm Free. Okay.
Yep. Those are the Who songs.
So they dropped those. All right. Season 7. Time Is on My Side. Let's Spend the Night Together. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Beast of Burden. It's Only Rock and Roll. Okay. Yep. And season 8. Oh, I know this one. You said Queen. Bohemian Rhapsody. Somebody to Love. You're My Best Friend. Misfire. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Never noticed that. Never really looked at the titles, though, I guess.
Yeah, and it was weird when I was looking up the different episodes, like, as I was watching, and I'm like getting into the 5th. I'm like, wait a second, I know that's a Zeppelin. Oh wait, that's a Zeppelin. Oh my God, the whole season is Zeppelin songs.
Well, you know how it works with the show with the dates and stuff too. So it takes place from 1976 through 1979. Ends, like we said, on New Year's. Do you know how to tell what year or what season the show is?
A license plate.
Yeah, they show that license plate at the very end with the created by. And that's 8 seasons. Each season is each 2 seasons is 1 year.
Right.
So each season is half a year, calendar year.
Do we get into some of the dark side of things?
Yeah.
Do we start Charlie Browning?
There's one. There is one thing I really hate about this show. I call it season 8.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That itself is just. Ugh.
I don't know. We'll get to Roseanne eventually, but for me, season 8 or season 9 of Roseanne is one of the worst seasons of television ever made.
Yeah.
This is not too far behind that as far as character choices, story choices. And you go, really? The same guy was in charge of this shit?
Yeah, and bringing in another character to sort of replace another.
Well, so here's the thing.
Air quote on the replace.
Eric is the star of the show. Everything kind of revolves around him, his family, and his friends, as we've discussed.
Correct.
I don't know why. If you're only gonna do one more season, why can't you just stick around, my friend? You couldn't do one more season.
One more season.
He was eager to go be a movie star, basically. He thought he was gonna go off. I think that Spider-Man 3 was his first big foray into film, if I remember right.
Yeah.
He played Venom
played
or
Eddie Brock
/
Venom. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess people were knocking on his door. He wanted to go do film and couldn't sign for that last season. So they brought in this character named Charlie, and this is kind of toward the end of the 7th season, I think. Charlie comes in for 3 or 4 episodes, and what's the actor's name? Which I actually really like him from other shit. I just don't.
Josh Myers.
No, he's not there yet. He's not Charlie. Brett Harrison.
Charlie. Charlie. That was the blah, blah, blah. What's his name?
Brett Harrison is the actor, which I actually really like him from, which I don't think you've seen, Grounded for Life, but it's actually a show I really enjoyed. And he was like the nerdy neighbor kid.
Yeah, the Grounded for Life one. That's the one I was thinking of actually before too. What the hell is the lead actor?
Donald Logue.
Logue, yeah.
The redhead guy.
Yep.
From everything.
Exactly. Yeah,
and his wife on there was from, the David Spade show, Rules of Engagement, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So Brett Harrison, I really like the actor. They bring him in here as this character named Charlie, and they kind of start trying to set him up as an Eric light. Like, oh, Eric's gonna leave. We start talking about Eric leaving, and then you bring this guy in, and he's kind of acting the same. And then Eric leaves, and we go into the 9th or the 8th season. I keep thinking 9 because I associate 9 with shitty seasons because of Roseanne. But 8th season, and I guess this Brett Harrison got another job. He had like a lead on a show, and he was like, I can't do it. So after they build him up for a few episodes, he's like, I'm going to go. So they kill him off instantly. They kill him. Eric's gone. They kill his replacement, and they bring in fucking Josh Myers. I keep wanting to say Seth Myers.
Josh Myers as Randy Pearson.
Now, the worst fucking idea I've ever heard. He was not supposed to be Randy Pearson. He was originally going to be Eric Foreman.
Yes, we're gonna just literally change the actor. Yeah,
recast the actor for him to play Eric Foreman. Yeah. Can you fucking imagine?
No.
As bad as this is, it would have been worse.
It could have really been worse. And when they did that, they were saying that they thought a lot of the fans, particularly fans also of Topher Grace, would be very upset if they just kind of recast Eric.
Well, the same season, they had just recast the sister, Lori, with a new actress. And basically they said, well, we didn't get that much flack for it because Lori's not a main character of the fucking show.
No,
she's not even in.
She's in and out.
She's in maybe 40% of the episodes, if that.
No, I don't think even that. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah, we're gonna recast our main guy with.
I got what Brett Harrison was offered a lead in the series The Loop. That's why he wound up.
That was the airport show, I think he did or something.
Yes.
I think that was another Fox show that didn't even last a season, or maybe lasted one season.
I don't think it even lasted a season.
So it's just like why the fuck do you already have all these characters that are so good? The worst thing you can do is bring somebody in after 7 seasons and try to make us give a shit. Especially when you already have 10 characters that we all like. Why are you focusing on this new guy,
Yeah, and do you remember the other character that came in at this time too?
That came in? Well, we lost. Kelso did 4 episodes, I think, and then left, and then came back for the finale. So
finale, right?
He wasn't there for most of this season either. So you lost Eric and Kelso. Who was the other one that came in? You're saying
Samantha.
Oh, as Hyde's. He married a stripper in Vegas because he thought Jackie cheated on him with Kelso. It's just fucking stupid.
Yeah, exactly. It just started just spinning off in any direction, and it was just like, okay, the show lost. And
she was horrible.
Doing. Yeah, and
she was not an interesting. She was hot, but she was not an interesting character in any way.
She was played by Jude Taylor. Now, going to Josh Myers, you know who he's related to, right?
You said Josh Myers, Seth Meyers, the talk show host.
Yep, late night.
I confused them a lot. One of them was on One of them was on Mad TV, which has got to be this guy because this is a Fox show.
Right.
I think Josh Myers was on Mad TV, and then Seth Meyers was on SNL.
Yes. Seth Meyers was SNL.
So this guy had a relationship with Fox, which is why he was probably brought over from Mad TV. Which I remember him being okay on Mad TV.
Yeah, no, not on Mad TV. Yeah, fine, but here, no. Yeah, you're right. He joined the cast of Mad TV in 2002.
Because they were another one of those brother duos that were kind of everywhere at that time. It is kind of funny to have one of them on Mad TV, one of them on Saturday Night Live.
On SNL.
At the same time, on this
the show that
Hyde, we haven't mentioned his brother, who has also made an appearance in the show, Chris Masterson, who was the lead on Malcolm in the Middle. He was the oldest brother, Francis.
Yes.
Yeah. He was great on there, too. I think Danny also did a cameo or two on Malcolm, if I remember right. But
I think he may have. Let's just check really quick. I think he did, actually.
Of course, if you want to look at what's happening with Danny Masterson right now and why he won't be appearing on that 90s show, go ahead and Google him.
Again, this is the dark turn now. These are our Charlie Brown moments.
I only watched, I think, the first season of The Ranch too, but at some point he left that show, right? Because he
was let go from that show.
Because didn't he own it? He created it, I thought, but maybe not.
He might have been one of the ones behind it, but yeah, he was let go from that show.
They're like, get the fuck out so we can keep going.
Yeah.
Basically the Roseanne situation. Different reasons.
But anyway, Danny Masterson, he had some troubles, basically accused of sexual assault. And multiple people coming forward saying so. Now, apparently, the case, it went to a mistrial.
Yeah.
Actually, so it is going to be retried in.
Do you remember who his wife is in real life? We've talked about her show.
Brittany. What the hell is her name?
She was Hope's mom on Raising Hope.
Bijou Phillips.
Yeah, she was Hope's mom on Raising Hope, which is another show we covered.
Yes, a great show.
Great show.
But yeah,
and she was very funny.
So that's so that's one thing, on the dark side, and of course also another thing, let's get ourselves in trouble with the Church of Scientology. Danny, his sister, and I think his brother have been members of the Church of Scientology. And you know who else from the cast was?
Oh. Who?
You actually had another member.
It's not going to be Ashton or Mila. It's not going to be Red and Kitty. I would say Wilmer.
Nope. Laura Prepon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But she has since left.
I mean, think about how much fucking power they have in Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like one of the, I don't want to say smartest, but one of the most powerful moves you can probably do if you're a star in Hollywood is fucking become a Scientologist. As sad as it is to say, again, we won't Jason
go into
Lee
the whole
was
thing.
Is he still a Scientologist? I think he is. Jason Lee?
I don't know. Jason Lee, is he still?
And I go, really? You look at these people that you look up to and you think they're so smart, and you go, they can't be in it because they believe this bullshit. There has to be something with the power and the connections. You cannot tell me that Jason Lee, this man I think is a fucking genius, believes this shit. There's no way. There's no fucking way. You know?
Well, again, like our last episode, Kirstie Alley.
Yeah, and again, it's got to be the power. It's got to be the connections. Yeah. It's got to be the power. And it's only a church because of the fucking tax write-offs. I guarantee it. That's the only.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot out there, though. Same thing. Under the umbrella of church. Yeah, where it's not really a church. But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are our dark sides, I think.
That said, if I ever get famous enough, hey, Scientology, hook me up. I would love to come out. Nanu, whatever the fuck you guys do. I don't know.
Lord Xenu.
Oh, that's the one. My bad.
Yeah, Xenu.
I was trying to keep it sitcom related. I'm Mork.
That's a great show. At some point, we gotta.
I'm Mork
get
from
into.
Pork.
Mork from Pork. Oh, God. Yeah, God, it reminds me of Star Wars for a second. It's like, yeah, why is the fat guy's name Porkins? Why the hell is he saying? And of course, who's like one of the first guys to die? The fat guy, Porkins.
Oh my gosh. One thing I do love about this show is even when they know they're doing sitcom like stereotypical things, like how many times have we discussed like, oh, a show will have a baby and then you never see the baby until the baby's integral to the story. When Rachel on Friends had a baby, you only saw that fucking baby when it was part of the story. This one, I remember they had the dog. Season 5, I think they get a dog, and the dog is just never there. 2 seasons, the dog shows up again, and Eric literally looks at Kitty holding this dog and goes, "We still have Shotzi?" She goes, "Yeah, he's been around." And he goes, "Where?" She goes, "Under the house." Like,
under the house.
And Red goes, "Yeah, the poor little guy is afraid of the garden hose." So they just completely acknowledge as a joke the fact that this dog only shows up when we need it. And those are the kind of little inside jokes the show will do that I really appreciate. Even like the Halloween episode I watched today, the one with the Hitchcock references. The whole episode was a Halloween episode.
Yeah.
And there's 1,000,001 Hitchcock references in it. You got the kitty with the crows, the birds next door.
Yep.
You got the Wilmer Fez breaks his leg. He's doing the rear window watching Bob, thinking that he killed Midge. You got Eric has vertigo from almost falling off the roof. And there's all these little things. You got Kelso in the shower when Lori comes in and she's like hitting him with the loofah. And it's like a Psycho reference. This is really cool. The plane that attacks him in the yard is the North by Northwest.
Northwest.
And I think that's something that's interesting about the show is the time frame of the references. They try to keep them to things that are 70s and prior.
Correct.
So
yeah, I think they did a good job of that.
Yeah.
And not doing like, oh, hey, like the people that are like, hey, that device wasn't available at that point. I think they pretty much had a good handle on what was and wasn't available at the time, or what was in the mainstream consciousness at the time.
Like Deer Camp 86, coming soon to hopefully every platform near you. Deer Camp 86, it takes place in the 80s. So I remember being on set, and this had to be the same kind of shit for them because it was annoying as hell. But I'd have my cell phone in my pocket. And the director or the set decorator, whoever would come up and go, "We can see your outline of your cell phone in your pocket. You got to get rid of that," or whatever. You go, "Oh, right." So shit like that, I'm sure that was all over this set, trying to keep that kind of stuff.
Of course.
Although not that cell phones were completely relevant in 97 to 06 yet, but I had a cell phone, I think in 8th grade, little flip phone.
Yeah,
come pick me up from the football game. I'm done.
I didn't get one till I was 32 or 33.
Yeah, I got my mom's old cell phone. It was a flip phone. I was in 8th grade. That was probably about 2000. Yeah, probably 2000. And they were only this big, and they sucked. You had to pull the fucking antenna out a foot to get any service.
Yeah.
Hold it up. But yeah, so yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of that stuff where it's like this certain style of headphone didn't exist until the 80s, so we can't use that. And it probably would have actually been pretty fun to decorate this set. I noticed a lot of like, the blankets and the wall decor are weird things that I kind of remember from my grandma's houses, growing up. A lot of that shit. They pulled out a blanket in one earlier, and I was like, I swear I still have that blanket. That was my grandma's. You know what I mean? Like, These like crocheted 70s colors, orange and yellow.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite things about this show is the camera work. We talked about the circle. When they're sitting in the circle, the camera moving around. That became like an iconic thing for this show. But you also have whenever they were stoned and they're in the kitchen and the kitchen wall is behind them moving, you know, shit like that. I really love that stuff. The dancing interstitials for the commercial breaks. Yes. All those little things became so iconic from this show. You know, it's really kind of genius, some of the weird camera movements they came up with. Like your psychedelic background there.
Exactly.
If only it was moving.
Yes. and of course the one thing we mentioned at the beginning, you know, like and Red's, you know, like always threatening to, shove his foot up someone's ass.
Yeah.
Of which I think it was the last episode, right? I think when they ask Red. It's like I think it was.
Oh, have you ever actually done that? Is that what he says?
Have you ever done that? Once. I can't talk about that. Like basically, it happened in the war.
Well, even in the preview for the '90s show, Eric's talking about, I'm going to stand behind my daughter, and he goes, "Standing behind your kid is a great idea because it makes it that much easier to put your foot up their ass or something like that." They're all like, yeah. Do you have any other episodes you wanted to touch on that you thought were important?
Let's see. I think as far as the important episodes, like we brought up, like I said, you have one of them where they were talking about how they all met each other, which I think was really cool. There was the one with Shannon Elizabeth. There was the one.
She was in a handful of them, I think.
Yes, yeah, but her first appearance. What was the one I was thinking of before? Which, and also like I
throw in Lisa Robin Kelly was the name of the sister, Lori.
Lori, yeah,
the one who died of the OD. Yeah, after she was replaced, she died of a drug overdose. So,
but what was the one episode? There was the one where Donna's Donna's mooning in the yearbook.
Yes.
That was a good one.
The one I remember really liking is also where they go streaking. They want to go streaking at the was it Ford? Ford came to town. President Ford and
Gerald Ford. Yeah.
They Bob asks Red to ask a question to the president, and all the boys are like, "Let's go streaking" during the thing, but they all chicken out except for Eric.
Of course.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Oh, you know, it was one of the ones I mentioned before when they actually go to the cabin. That was actually pretty funny because I don't know how many times one of the running gags is also, Kelso is so stupid that Hyde basically hits him in the face many times. Or he hits him to hit himself in the face.
Ow!
It's like
my eye.
Yeah. Always, whenever they're wrestling, it's always my eye.
Yeah.
But I don't know how many times my hand fits my whole face, and Kelso's like, yeah, I don't mind, and of course Hyde.
Yeah.
And that was the episode where he gets his hand stuck also in the vase, and at different times oh, you know what? There's writing on the bottom of the vase. So Kelso's like, really? And it's like,
yeah. Well, it's like, how many times have they fallen off the fucking water tower?
Oh, particularly Kelso.
Well, and that was the only funny thing that came out of the Charlie bullshit was. Yes. That's how they kill him, is he falls off the water tower and dies.
And he's the only one to die from it.
He falls and they go, Donna's like, that was a pretty awkward landing. I hope he's okay. And Kelso's like, nobody ever died falling off the water tower because he's fallen off it a million times. And then it basically cuts to Kitty going, and now they call it the Brett Harrison Memorial Water Tower. I wish they'd had the fucking Randy Pearson Memorial Water Tower too.
Yeah, just just not a good character, not a good performance.
I think that the first, there's 8 seasons. The first 6 and 6.25, of this show are some of the best.
Yes.
The
definitely.
last 1 and 3/4, because then they start building up toward Eric leaving, and it's a lot of kind of melodrama bullshit.
Yeah, it's that part, and then you've already pointed out the flaws of season 8.
It's kind of like what we talked about, Different Strokes. Like, that was a great show up to a point, and then it went like 2 seasons too long.
Correct.
And I think this is almost the same thing. You have these characters that you love still, but they're not really acting like themselves. They're not really doing the same shit. They're really reaching for stories when you don't really need to reach for stories in a show like this. Just put them in a room together and be funny.
Yeah,
I don't need Jack.
This show is more about the characters.
Yeah.
The characters and their relation with each other. That's the show. You don't need to build a bunch of other stuff.
And to be clear, the last
throw
season,
in some extra characters,
the last season wouldn't be so disappointing if the first so many weren't so good.
True. Okay, I think we're getting to the point of where does this rank for you?
Yeah.
So,
I
on your list of the top and bottom sitcoms.
Ooh, I get to be the top and the bottom.
Woohoo!
Dreams come true. Night Court is my number 1, and I think Night Court overall is a better show. I don't think there's a whole season where I go, that fucking sucked.
No.
The King of Queens, I love.
Until the end.
They also dropped the ball at the end. Not the whole season though. Just the last 2 episodes. I think I'm going to shock you, and I'm going to put that 70s show at number 2.
Wow. Okay, I am surprised.
Yeah. Me too. I almost wanted to put it at number 1 until you get to the end there, and they just fucking fumbled it so badly.
Yeah.
Night Court has bad episodes, but they don't have entirely bad seasons.
Right. Now my top 5 are Raymond, Modern Family, Mary Tyler Moore, Honeymooners, and Friends. For me, this doesn't crack the top 5. Once we get
I kind of thought you might like this better than Friends, to be honest.
Nah. Friends has a little more staying power. But I'm actually...
If only they had Randy. Can you imagine they added Randy Pearson to Friends?
Oh, no. Oof. I am actually going to put this between King of Queens and F Troop, which I have to read you the numbers on here, but it's like 12.
Okay.
Something like that. Right, 12, 13.
Okay. This one, like I said, it hit me at the right time. I think in my youth, it came out the right time for me to grow up with.
Right.
Like I said, I graduated 2005. This ended in 2006, so it's right there in my sweet spot to kind of relate, I think. But I think it's hard to argue that Red, Kitty, Eric, Donna, Jackie, Kelso, Hyde, Fez, I think they're all great characters.
Yes.
So, yeah, number 2 for me. And I really wanted to put it at number 1. I really thought about it. But the more I looked at Night Court, I go, I can't disown an entire season of Night Court, even though the cast changes every time. Almost every season the fucking cast changed on Night Court. And they did it better than this fucking show did in one season.
Oh, big time.
You had the 3 constants on Night Court with Dan, Bull, and Harry. They were the only 3 that were there the entire time. So the fact that that show handled it better over and over and over and over again than this show did for 1 year.
Yes, the second bailiff, the defense attorney, those all changed over time, multiple times.
Yeah. And I don't even know if we've decided what we're doing next yet, but we'll figure that out, and then you'll know next time.
It's as much of a mystery to us as it is to you guys out there.
We're gonna do that 2000 show.
You know what's not a mystery though?
Where they can find us?
Not a mystery? Where to find us? Where can they find you, Jay?
You can find me on twitch.tv/bidwellfog. I've been playing the new Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed game. That's been kind of fun.
Oh, who are you going to call? But yeah, for Twitch, they can find me at twitch.tv/netnick191. What about out in Twitter world? I think you're out there.
You could tweet me at bidwellfog. You could tweet the show at sitcommyface. You can email us, sitcommyface@gmail.com. You can find us on facebook.com/sitcommyface. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, we haven't hit Instagram yet. So.
Oh, you can check out Nick's other podcast.
Yes.
What Exit Jersey Stories.
Yeah, we've been a little on the hiatus between me getting COVID, Pete getting sick, and both of us being away and such. It just kind of like has been a little bit of a crazy schedule. So we're hoping to get back soon now. What do we want the viewers and listeners out there to do for us?
Jump on my chest. I mean, sitcom my face.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
That's a good day.